Welcome guys and girls, F1 is back and it's race week, and I've not said that for absolutely forever. We've had a strange 4-week break which we've not had for quite a while, but we go straight to it. Austin, Circuits of the Americas, the first of 3 triple headers before we go to the Americas, Brazil and Mexico. Yes, it's a sprint weekend this weekend, so straight in with the action, and we've got probably one of the most tense FP1 sessions we'll ever have, and I'll explain a bit of that in the later, but let's take a look. And after the long break we go stateside, Austin, Circuits of the America, for the medium speed, medium downforce, medium tyre range. It's anything but average, this circuit. We've got 2 DRS zones, 59% full throttle around here, 20 turns, 5.5 kilometers, a 56 lap race. The lap record of 1:36.169 held by Charles Leclerc. Last time out we got a really interesting race in the end, didn't we? Max Verstappen won from 6th place and he was being closed down by Lewis Hamilton, who was disqualified in the end for a floor infringement like Charles Leclerc. Lando Norris took 2nd place in the end. Carlos Sainz in 3rd, and Max, well, he did it again, didn't he, last time out, and we'll be hoping for something similar this time out, but I imagine it'll be very, very different. The landscape for this first race back, where we've got a 6-race title showdown now, means it's all to play for. The weather conditions, 10% chance of rain for Friday, which is important actually. It sets the grid for the sprint race, which will be all important. 8 points to fight for now. These sprint races, the 3 that are coming, could prove critical in the title race, and Max will be hoping to get off to a winning start. The tyres, like I said, the mid-range for this weekend, the C2 for the hards, the C3 for the mediums, and the C4 for the softs. We traditionally get a 2-stop strategy around here, and well, I don't expect it to be too different this time. The sprints kind of give strategy away a little bit, and that's kind of one of the big downsides of having a sprint weekend, I think. We've now got Parc Fermé where they can make changes and set the cars up perfectly for the race, and so we don't always get something too drastically different from what we've seen in sprint. So let's hope sprint is banging and we get something really different for the race. And well, could we see a big title swing? And well, let's get to the predictions. We've got big upgrades here, which is actually interesting. Like I said, probably one of the most crucial free practice sessions we've seen for a long time. Upgrades, big upgrades for Red Bull, Mercedes, McLaren have bought some decent sized upgrades, as Aston Martin, their upgrades worth potentially 0.3 of a second, so we could see a very different landscape of what we saw before the break. This break, not like the summer break where they can't work on the cars, they absolutely can. So they've had 4 works to hammer it out, and it looks like they surely have. This year it's very different. The rules are not changing for next year, so they'll throw a lot of it work at this car. They can't work on 26 car until January 25, so all the incentives are really to go for this championship and try to work for cars that will work for next year, and we can see something, could see something very different. But my predictions are, very safe, I think. For the sprint race, I've got Lando Norris to take the win, Max Verstappen 2nd, and Lewis Hamilton to come home in 3rd place. I expect that Mercedes to do well. And Lewis Hamilton is, the most winningest driver around COTA, isn't he? Won 6 times. He loves this circuit. He did really, really well last time out, which was one of his better performances, and I expect the same this weekend. For the race, for qualifying, I've got Lando Norris in pole position, Oscar Piastri in 2nd, and Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. For the race, I've got him all again in that order, so I'm expecting a very good weekend for the McLarens, despite them losing their 2nd or DRS, wasn't it, with the flexi wing issues that came out, and they've got a new floor potentially to combat that. Will they lose what's given them the lead in the championship? Who knows. Red Bull have got big upgrades, like I said, and they'll be hoping that they work, and I don't think they will. Like I've said in the you know, qualifying and for the race. I don't see Max in the top 3. Like I say, a bit bad weekend for the Red Bulls in my view. Yes, they're going to bring upgrades. They haven't worked their upgrades, what we've seen recently, and even Helmut Marko saying that the wind tunnel that they work out is what World War Army built. It's very, very old, and they are due a new one. And so probably that's why we've seen them go a bit off the rails a little bit, but it is Red Bull and they have done fantastically well in the past. So I am kind of betting against them, and they normally say a foolish man will bet against them. Maybe I'm that fool, but yeah, that's the predictions I have for this weekend. Let's take a quick look at the championship. Max Verstappen in pole position, still a 52-point lead, you know, with 6 races to go, and if he'll be praying that Red Bull can have some decent a decent package that they've pulled together, and all he kind of really needs to do is follow Lando Norris home. That's not the kind of guy he is, though. He's so full on 100% aggression every corner, every circuit, and every race, and so I don't expect that to change, and it'll be, you know, he'll do his best, and I think it'll be a tough one for Lando Norris to win this, and if he can pull off the results like I've said, that'll be a big swing in the championship either way. Just 52 points behind, like I said, on 279 points Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc in 3rd place, 245 points, 34 behind Lando Norris, and well, if McLaren slip away, he'll be, well, scratching and rubbing his hands in glee, won't he? Like Charles Leclerc could nick 2nd in the championship. You know, you can't bet against anything at this moment. There's a lot of points to play for. Still 180 points for the drivers, so anything can still happen yet. Oscar Piastri in 4th place on 237. It's very tight between him and Charles Leclerc, just 8 points, and Carlos Sainz in 5th. Back 47 points on Oscar Piastri on 190 points. And let's take a quick look at the constructors, where it gets interesting. McLaren currently lead the race on 516 points. Back on 475 points are Red Bull, 41 points behind now. It's been a big swing in that championship. And while they need these upgrades to work to try and keep hold of that Constructors' Championship, don't the Red Bull? But they'll be looking over their shoulders. Ferrari right behind on 34 points, 441, and so we could see potentially a 3-horse race if McLaren get things wrong for the Constructors' Championship. We've not really talked about it like in them terms. It looks like it's McLaren's to lose at the moment, especially on the form going into the break. But like we saw last time before the break, Mercedes were on it, weren't they? They'd won 3 of the last 4, and then after the break they were absolutely nowhere. So things can change very, very quickly. Mercedes 4th in that championship, 329 points, 112 behind. The battle really after that 1st, 2nd, 3rd place battle is for 6th place, currently held by Racing Bulls on 34 points, and Haas just 3 behind now, 31 points, who come fresh off the back of that link up with Toyota Racing. It's a very interesting deal, that one, isn't it? Because they work very closely with Ferrari, and now they've got Toyota, so some fine lines might be drawn there with the IP issues that can come, but they've only just signed that Ferrari deal very, very recently, haven't they? That's going to stay until 28. It'll be interesting to see how they work with Toyota, but it's great to see Toyota back on the F1 grid. They disappeared after 2009, didn't they? So it'll be very interesting to see how that works out for them. It should be an absolutely fantastic racing weekend. I cannot wait for the action to get going. Watch out for an update later in the week with some of the latest news. I know we've got some livery reveals from Haas, Alpine. I know we've got some livery updates from Haas and McLaren. Potentially should be out today, probably during this video I'm doing actually. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with, their iterations. 6 to go. It should be fantastic. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment as always, and the action gets going Friday. It should be brilliant. See you then.